This is Robert Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNNLive at the SeeThruEquity Fall MicroCap Investor Conference 2015 in New York City. With me to my left is Alex Hartman from Newzulu, NWZ on the ASX. Alex, welcome to SNNLive.
Thanks, Robert. Great to be here with you.
So as is tradition, for your first time on SNNLive, let's get an overview of Newzulu.
Sure. I guess Newzulu is best understood as a crowdsourced media company. So we're disrupting the way that the media has traditionally operated, where it's relied on paid reporters, staff journalists, news helicopters, satellite trucks. And instead we're sourcing news, photos, videos, live video from people's mobile phones.
All right, so before we get into the business model, I want to talk about how you do it. So let's say I take a picture and I'm on the scene of something that's newsworthy. Mm-hmm. You know, how do I then get it to Newzulu and then it gets out there?
So you can download the Newzulu app for iOS or for Android, and once you've got that app on your phone, you'll receive news alerts when there's something happening nearby, or if you see something, you can just press stream now on that app and send a live video stream from wherever you are in high definition to your local TV station.
So let's hear an example. I remember seeing something that at the Charlie Hebdo case, you said that people were sending in stuff.
Yeah, look, obviously the Charlie Hebdo story was troubling for all journalists around the world, troubling times. But indeed, one of our contributors sent in the footage of the police officer being shot outside the Charlie Hebdo office, and we, have to be very sensitive in the way that we deal with news materials. For a start, it's just really important that they're factually accurate. So we get a lot of ad agencies, brands trying to send materials to be distributed down the world's news wires, and we have to be alert to ensure everything's factual, it hasn't been photoshopped or edited or manipulated, and that it's appropriately captioned.
So how do you verify that source material?
That's a good question. It involves a number of technologies and then some human editors. So our software is able to automatically detect, has this image been photoshopped, has the video been edited, and that will flag to our editorial team that, this is worth checking again. So we apply both a trust rating, a credibility rating to every piece of content and also to every contributor, so that we're able to develop a profile over time of the reliability of those contributors.
So who developed the technology?
Actually, this business is an interesting mix of technologies. The basis of it was developed by the French government's newswire, which is called Agence France Presse, or AFP, which is like the French Associated Press, and they built this because in their newsroom they were suddenly receiving photos and videos from social media, from cell phones, and they needed to be able to deal with this. So they built some software to specifically deal with it. We then last year in October acquired our biggest competitor, a company called File Mobile, Canadian software company, for $5 million Canadian. So we've tried to be the consolidator, and hopefully we're leading the industry now.
Okay, so now we're on to the big question. What's the business model? How do you guys make money?
Sure. We make money in two ways. Firstly, we sell content. So if a video is sent to us, say of the plane exploding in Las Vegas airport yesterday, we check that it's real. We then sell it through Getty Images, Canadian Press, Australian Associated Press, the Press Association, Deutsche Press. So we sell it around the world. When $1,000 of revenue comes to us, we share it 50-50 with whoever sent us the materials. So people get paid for sending in the materials. So that's our content business. Then we also have a technology business where we license our software platform to TV stations, to publishers, broadcasters and brands around the world.
Okay. So who's like your target customer base? Or are you talking like news broadcast stations, or who's that group?
Yeah, so basically every local TV station in America is our target at the moment, where anyone with a news operation that has traditionally relied on, camera crews, satellite trucks going out to news events can use this software to to better report and more cheaply report the news.
So with the photos and the videos that are coming in, how do you guys deal with the liability issues that could potentially be there?
It's a good question, and it differs from country to country around the world. I mean, there are some jurisdictions, like European jurisdictions, where the privacy laws are such you're not allowed to take photos and videos of people walking down the street. Obviously, in the United States, there's a protection of freedom of speech, and there are only slight limitations on that. But our editorial team's geared up to determine in which jurisdictions can we distribute content. In terms of strict liability, look, I mean, we worry that people will do foolish things in order to make the news. And it sometimes happens, but it hasn't been tremendously problematic for us to date. But certainly in our terms of use, that liability remains with the contributor, not with us. But obviously we're concerned to make sure that we run this service responsibly.
So now let's get into some growth drivers for the business. Now there's two different routes I see here. You have the licensing route, and then you also have the marketing of the app so that you can get more app users, so they would then in turn put in more content. So from your perspective, moving forward in the short term and long term, what do you see as the growth drivers for the business?
Look, we're putting a real focus on local broadcasts in the United States at the moment, and selling our software to, there are several hundred local broadcast areas in the United States. There are 4 or 5 TV stations in every one. That's a pretty significant market, and so that's really the immediate growth driver is in licensing the technology. The editorial business takes a bit longer to develop because you've got to get awareness of the app out there. But look, we've got some ideas around how to boost that awareness and ramp that up as well. So look, I would think that the business will be led by its technology licensing, but it's the strategic value lies in the crowdsourced newswire.
So what's your background? How did this come to be?
I've always loved the news, and I've always loved technology, and so what's led me to be in this business is I realise that the news business, isn't one that changes very often, or the players in it don't change that often. I mean, these news wires that are our partners, they started transmitting the news with carrier pigeons, and now we're talking about smartphones, and so the opportunity to play a role in the fundamental disruption of an industry that has traditionally been quite hard to get involved with. I mean, you guys would know yourself.
Oh yeah, no.
Is a very exciting thing, and so I've had a background in software and in actually television and movie licensing, but I now have a business where if we witness a news event here, we can reach 3 billion people with that content instantly, and that's a pretty exciting business to be in.
All right, so for more information for our audience, where do we go to find the website, and then also to download the app?
So you can download the app, search for Newzulu, that's NEWZULU, on the App Store or the Google Play Store. On the web, www.newzulu.com, and you can see our investor page there for more information.
All right, you heard it there, folks. Go to newzulu.com to get more information. Again, my name is Robert Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNNLive at the SeeThruEquity Fall MicroCap Investor Conference 2015 in New York City. And with me has been Alex Hartman from Newzulu, NWZ on the ASX. Alex, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks, Robert. Thanks for your time. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.